Hello, this is Keith. I'm with EveningsHadowsTarot.com. If you'd like to see my web page, it's below this video. I'm going to take this time to talk just a little bit. I'm not going to do a reading for this. I want to just visit with you a little bit and give you some background. Years ago, when before I was born, naturally, but my father had blonde hair and blue eyes, and he's from Virginia, originally from England. They came over many years ago, and they had a grant on a sheepskin for the land, and I thought that was interesting. Lived in Virginia, and he moved from Virginia to South Dakota, from South Dakota down to Texas Panhandle. He met my mother, who has had black hair, brown eyes, and was Choctaw Indian. She's a beautiful lady. And he was a handsome man. They made a beautiful couple. I have pictures of them. And they out by a black car, an old Model T, and I said, "You two look like Bonnie and Clyde in here." They looked real nice together. But that's just how they made their living, naturally. But I had a grandmother, mother's mother, who was named Sue. She's Choctaw Indian, as my mother's Choctaw Indian. So I'm a mixture, and she would teach me different things. Now, she was very superstitious, my grandmother Sue, and she believed that certain things brought bad luck. And if you, of course, went under a ladder, which all of us know, I think, that was supposed to bring bad luck. A mirror, if you broke a mirror, always 7 years bad luck. And then I think she made up a few as she went along. She was a wonderful person. But I think one day I was little, and I was chopping some weeds in the front of the house, and I carried the hoe through the house to go to the backyard and chop some weeds. And she just started screaming fit, and I said, "What's the matter with her now, Mom?" And she said, "Well, she thinks that's bad luck." And I said, "Well, here a week ago I opened up an umbrella in the house, and she thought that was bad luck." Yes, that's all bad luck to her. Well, she knew about reading cards, and she read the cards that that have the clubs, the diamonds, and the hearts, and the spades, and so she would kind of show me when I was little about these cards, and I didn't want to believe some of it because it didn't make sense to me when I was little. I thought, how can you look at a card? But she showed me, and then along came the tarot card, and that was so much easier for me to understand because it has pictures. These tarot cards are were designed by Pamela Coleman Smith. That's what I believe it is. I have to stop and think. And the designs are, and they were done over 100 years ago. Now, my cards are not 100 years old. Of course, they make replicas of them now and have changed them up. But these are Pamela Coleman Smith's designs originally. And that was over 100 years ago. And so now we still use them. There are different versions of them. I particularly like her versions best. They help me. And they're easier for a person to learn. If you're thinking about learning to read cards, I certainly suggest her sets of cards. And it'll tell you almost anything you want to know. For example, let's just take this one for example. This is the 8 of Swords, and this lady is tied up, she's blindfolded, and she's afraid to move. She's just frozen. She's petrified because she's afraid she'll cut herself. So that's what that means. That means fear with the swords. This one it has to do with money, and this is the 10 of coins, and you can tell that these people have made money, and money's coming to them. This one is a magician, and he can manifest money. And it's real funny. I did 3 of these boards. I did a board, but I did 3 manifestations, and I used him as a center, and I did one for $500. I did manifestation of $100 and of $200. Well, I was doing this, and I decided to use different amounts. We try not to ask for more than you need, but if you're needing a certain amount. Well, I had done that $500 one, and I didn't think too much about it at the time, and I showed people how to use it, and it's in my collection if you need to find it and to use it. You're certainly welcome to. But 2 weeks later, I got a check through the mail that I was not expecting, and it was $522. So it was a little over what I needed. And you know what's funny was I had kind of splurged, and I bought a set of cards that I shouldn't have been spending the money, and they were $22. So I got the $500, and that $22 I think played towards those cards. And so it's what I think. That evened it out. I started doing readings, and I would help people, and I had a spell where I fell down, and I hurt my hip badly, and so I had to go through several months of pain and being in the hospitals, and so the nurses had to come here for several months to my home and check on me every day or every other day, and they would change bandages and help me. So I would mention that I did readings. So for 1 or 2 of them, I did readings, and they said, "Do you do that for money?" And I said, "Well, I haven't done it for money, but I could certainly use extra money." And so the guides had me told me, said, "Try it and see how you do." And then I have a guardian angel, and that is different than a guide. But yesterday, a guide connected with me, and he named his name was Santu, Santu, and then he kept mentioning the name Santee, Santee, and I thought, well, this is so strange because I never had one contact me like that. And so afterwards, I just went to the computer and I wrote both words down. And did you know both of them are related? Santu is a name for someone who is a very good and kind person. And I thought, well, that's him. And he's an Indian, and it's the name is Santu was related to the Sioux Indians. I thought, oh my goodness, this is something that I would be told 2 words. And Santee is a river in North Carolina, and it's and he showed me. He was floating down, and I was in his canoe, sitting in the canoe, and he didn't say much, but we went down through there. We were floating and so I thought, well, Santee River, I never heard of that, and so I looked up, and darned if they're not connected, and I just was amazed. Now he hasn't given me very much information, but I'm hoping he will. I usually make contact with them at about 3 in the morning. I wake up, and I may be awake for half hour, hour or 2. You never know. And they help me and talk to me and give me advice. He told me something interesting. I said, I'm having trouble making connection with people. There are so many of us out there on YouTube. And I'm doing my best, and I've designed different boards, and I try to make it interesting for them, and I try to help them a lot. And but I'm just not making the connection I would like to. And he said, use my name and use the Santee River. Type both of those in when you're recording these. Type both of those in and see if the power will get you the attention you want. And so I'm going to try it. When I load these, I will use the Santee and also Santee River. You won't see them. You won't see that, but I will put it in the download when there's tags of words that you put, and I put reading tarot cards and magic and mystic and manifestation of money and manifestation of love. I do all that, and when I'm putting it, I'm going to put Santee, and I'll see Santee River. And we'll just see. Won't it be interesting to see? And I hope he will stay with me. He just came out of the blue. I certainly wasn't expecting him. This card that's up here now is the tower. And you will see that lightning has struck the tower, and people are jumping. Here's a person, and here's another person. They're jumping. It looks to their death. I'm sure that's what it means. But this means disaster. The disaster is coming to someone. I always hate to get this. I may be doing a reading for myself, and when this comes up, it knows that I know that there's something unpleasant going to happen. At my age, since I'm a senior citizen, you can lose friends that one day they're just in good shape, and then you lose one of them, and it's hard to accept. And it isn't always that. It can be some other disaster. It might be financial. For example, I may have put some money back to help me do something that I really wanted to do that I thought was important, and some disaster will come up and it takes that money for that. It might be a plumbing bill or something. Not too glamorous, but so I always hate to have that card come up. Hopefully, let's put it on this card right here, because this is a happy card. This is a wand, and it's a new beginning, and it's Ace of Wands. So I'll leave it on there. I hope I've helped you. I'd appreciate it so much if you would subscribe and leave a reply, and I hope I've helped you. And I do lots of things that a lot of videos, some are games, but mainly it's doing readings that will help people. So you might claim a reading. And anyway, this will make 80 once I get it downloaded. I thank you so much, and if you would give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And anything I can help you with, please let me know. And if you'd like a private reading, and it'll be videoed on a live screen, moving screen, and a link sent to you. You can watch it as many times as you want. Thank you so much, and goodbye.